What's happening, guys? I'm coming through with another video, and in this topic we're going to speak on the red flags in the dating world, and both guys and girls, because things are a little bit different. And of course I have more knowledge on girls because I've never dated a guy before, you know. I don't swing that way, but I still know some just from talking to other girls and knowing toxic guys in general, just friends, old friends, just seeing what guys do. Guys have before showed me things they did to females and I did not agree with it, but they did it. I've seen it. Red flags. So this is also a video request because I'm pretty sure I made a video like this like a long ass time ago, probably before just about any of you guys were here, but I'm gonna go ahead and do this video now. So when it comes to females and red flags, certain things you want to watch out for is females with daddy issues. There could be a girl watching this video that grew up without a father, that didn't have a father figure in her life. But I'm not saying every single female on the face of the planet end up screwed up and messed up if they grow up without a father figure, but from my own personal experience, every single girl that I've ever dated, every single girl that I've ever talked to, the ones that had daddy issues, and there was more than a few, okay? There's at least 4 or 5 different girls that I talked to, maybe even a little bit more, that had daddy issues. They were all walking red flags, okay? You don't know this in the beginning, but you figure it out. And sometimes you figure it out when things end with this person, because you got screwed over, because that's just the way they are. So the reason you want to watch out for females with daddy issues is because they grew up without that father figure in her life. She grew up without that masculine energy. She was not taught how to treat a man properly. If she grows up with just her mother's probably going to teach her to be against men because something happened with her and a guy. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense, right? She's going to grow her daughter up to use and abuse men. This is what they do. And like I said, some girl could be watching this that grew up like that and didn't do this shit. But for the fair majority of them, they do this. And it is a thing. I'm not the only one that's experienced this. And I didn't just experience it with one girl. So I don't want any comments saying these girls, I don't want any comments from any females on this channel, in this video, saying not all girls are like this. I don't want to hear it, because I just explained myself perfectly clear, okay? Now, and like I said, it didn't happen with just one girl. Multiple. Several girls. So yes, it is a thing, and you do want to watch out for those types of girls, because they don't know how to treat you. They don't know how to respect you as a man, and they're just going to take from you. They're going to use you, abuse you. They're not going to love you. They might tell you they love you, but they do not love you. So that's how that is. Another red flag you want to watch out for is girls that have a big ass and a big smile. Now, that might have cracked some of you guys up, but I'm being serious. I've actually heard this term before, and it actually seems accurate. I've heard this term before. I've heard somebody else say this, and I believe it's true. Obviously, once again, not every single female in this world, but these girls that got a big old ass, and they're just grinning from ear to ear, just all the time, 24/7. Red flag, okay? Another red flag from a female is whenever she future fakes. And what I mean by this is, in the beginning stages of talking to this girl, to this new girl that you're talking to, right? she's going to talk about the future extremely fast with you before she even gets to know you. She's going to bring shit up like she's going to make plans with you in the future. And trust and believe, it is all a bunch of bullshit. It's all a bunch of bullshit. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And it can be dangerous for some guys because they can actually wholeheartedly believe everything she's saying, as I did when I was a really young guy and got my hopes up and thought this was a girl that I'm going to be with forever. You know what I mean? These girls can do this to guys that do not have a lot of experience, especially these super good looking girls that know they can take advantage of these guys and just do shit like this to them and just leave them whenever, just like that, drop them like a bad habit. So things like that happen. You want to watch out for that. If she's talking about having kids with you extremely fast, that's a massive red flag. I'm telling you guys right now. This has happened to me also with more than a couple females. Okay? They were all the same. They all had the same spirit. They don't know how to treat a guy. They don't know how to properly treat a guy. They don't know how to talk to a guy right. They just look at guys like objects. They just look at guys as something they can use and not value. And that's complete bullshit, because for any single person to look at somebody as an object that they can use is a pathetic excuse of a human being in my eyes. You don't look at people as objects, as something you use. You look at people and value the people that you have in your life. That's how you're supposed to be with other human beings. If you don't want this, don't mess with them. And don't make them believe that you're actually valuing them whenever you're actually deep down inside using them. This is what females do. This is what they do. And guys do this to girls too. But that's another red flag. The future faking. Talking about pregnancy, talking about the future, talking about all this bullshit, right? Getting your hopes up, filling your head with a bunch of bullshit. And I'll tell you guys another red flag too, is whenever a girl puts you on the back shelf. So you could have been talking to this girl before, and you guys might have had a thing. You guys might have had a thing for quite some time, and all of a sudden she decides to end the relationship because she don't want you to catch feelings at this moment. She's not ready to commit, but she tells you a bunch of bullshit like, well, in the future we'll get back together and we'll link up again, you know? And she puts you on the back shelf, giving you this false hope that just give it some time. She can go through her young years, maybe in her late teens, early 20s, mid 20s, do whatever she wants, let her off the loose. She's gonna run around and get tossed around by all the guys. And she thinks she can just put you on the back shelf until she wants to come home. You know what I mean? Until she actually wants to be with you for good. That's a red flag. We don't have time for that bullshit. We don't want that bullshit in our lives. You don't want that type of female in your life. She just wants to get ran through. And now when she's all used up, she wants to come back to you. Red flag. Once a certain female, this is just my perspective. Once a female crosses a certain line when it comes to this stuff and being a little hoe and getting run through and all this, she is completely off the table for me for the rest of eternity, for the rest of life. I don't want no used up girl. I don't want no girl that ran around with 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 150 different guys. You know what I mean? I don't want that bullshit. because you see her true colors. It's not even the fact, it's just the fact of what she did, and expects that she can do something like that and then come to you so fast and settle down. It's complete bullshit. I would never, ever in my life accept a girl like this. And I hope none of you guys would either, because that's just dirty. It's disgusting. And she does not belong to you. If she just comes and decides to settle down with you, she still does not belong to you. She belongs to the streets, and she forever will. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with like a girl being a little bit on the younger side and maybe getting with like a couple different dudes, maybe like even 5 or 10. It's not so bad. You know what I mean? But some of these girls just take it way too far. Way, 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 way too far. And something else that's not that bad either is if a girl is in a long-term relationship. Maybe she was like in a 4 or 5 year relationship and she was getting ran through by the same dude the entire relationship. But then something happens, they break up, and then you end up maybe getting with this girl not directly after the breakup, but an extended period of time after the breakup. That's not even so bad, because at least she was with this guy the whole time and she was loyal to their relationship. I mean, if she dumped this dude for no reason and is acting all crazy and weird, then that's a red flag. But you just know what I mean. Like, that's not so bad. Like, that's a loyal woman in my eyes. Maybe something happened on the guy's side and she decided to break up with him. Maybe the guy cheated on her. You know what I mean? That's a loyal woman. There's nothing wrong with getting with a girl like that. But what I'm saying is, these girls that think they can just go to like 50 to 100 different guys, like, that's just disgusting. Very, very, very disgusting. So, massive red flags. Don't do that shit. Never do that shit. And another red flag is whenever, let's say you have a thing with a girl and she thinks she can just leave you whenever she wants, maybe gets around a little bit, then comes back to you and then does the same thing. She leaves you again, she does what she wants, runs around, comes back to you. Red flag. Red flag. You do not get with girls like this. You do not accept this. And it makes you a beta male orbiter if you do this and you let her come back. And guess what? I did this shit a little bit whenever I was a lot younger and didn't know the difference. Why? Because I still liked the girl. But now I see clearly. I don't care who it is. I don't care if she's the baddest girl on this planet. She could do something like this to me once, she's forever gone out of my life. Because women don't change. These types of girls, they don't change. They can even make it look like that, but they don't change. They'll forever be like this. They'll forever do this to different guys, and it doesn't even matter how good you are. Nobody is good enough, and I mean nobody is good enough for these certain females that I'm speaking of. Nobody. So wrap that around your mind and keep that in your notebook. Red flag. Now, I just don't want to forget any before I move on to the guys now, but another red flag in general is if she just don't respect you in general. She takes up all your time in the run of a day. She doesn't have your goals and ambitions in mind. She don't care about them. She don't think about them. She don't encourage you. She takes up all your time and she doesn't care what you get done or what you don't get done. She wants to waste your time and talk a bunch of bullshit. Talk about things that don't even matter. Just waste valuable time in the run of a day. A girl like this is just going to slow you down. You live with a girl like this, you are doomed. Because you know what she's doing? She's either, a girl like this, she's either probably going to school, and afterwards she's going to come home and want all your time and want all your attention and all this other bullshit. And if she's out of school, she'll probably have a job, probably a good paying job. She's going to go, she's going to show up, she's going to do her job, she's going to come home, and it's the exact same thing. She's going to want all your time, attention, and to take all this from you. And it's going to wear you down. You do not want a female like this. And I said it before, it's alright, like, if there's work for you to do, you got to do your work. That's the thing, these females, they think they can come home and just all of a sudden, the day's over. They can horse around and fool around for the rest of the day. And you know what? In their case, it might be true. They might be done with their day. They might have the rest of the day off. They can do whatever they want to do, but they can't be disturbing us. And you know what else they can't be doing? Talking to a whole bunch of different dudes and getting attention from them. A girl like this is just trouble. She needs to be on something else. She needs to be doing something else. She could be cooking or cleaning or going to the gym. She could have a hobby. She could be drawing. She could be painting, doing anything. Just not crossing the line. Not disrespecting you, because talking to other guys, if this girl is with you, is disrespecting you. You're not doing this with other girls. And you know what would happen? If you were doing this with other girls and you were talking to other girls, she would get extremely jealous and probably end up like breaking up with you or something. These girls cannot take what they do to us. What they do to us and accept us to let them do this bullshit. We cannot do the same thing they do, or it's the end of the world. That's how that is. And it's ridiculous. So a girl like that is a red flag. And it's not like you're working, you're hustling 24/7, which yes you are, but like there's always off time. There's always free time. I give myself at least a little bit of free time every single day. And I'm also hard at it every single day. This is what it has to be. This is what you have to do. And in that free time, when everything's set aside, that's when you can hang with the girl, give her all the time, attention, love. You guys can go drive around somewhere. You just can go to the malls. You just can go and do whatever you just want to do. You know what I mean? But when it's time to go, it's time to go. And you can't have a female hanging off you like a leech whenever it's time for you to do what you have to do. She has to be encouraging about this. She can't be playing these mind games at you, trying to throw you off, trying to get you to think about her 24/7 because she wants attention. When you're trying to get your work done, there's nothing more annoying than that. Like, there's grown-ass women that are doing this to guys, and it's ridiculous. Like, they don't understand that this is real life and shit needs to get done. You know what I mean? I'll end that there with the red flags with women. So, red flags with guys. I'll just say this because I know this to be true. Any guy that only texts you in the evenings is a red flag. If you actually think this guy likes you and he's only texting you back in the evenings, that is a red flag. Because any guy that really likes a girl and is focused solely on this one girl is going to keep in touch, and he might not be able to talk to her every single second of every single day, but he's not just going to reply in the evenings. Like, fuck, I gotta sneeze. But yes, that's a red flag. Guys that do this. What else? There's actually red flags that I spoke about on females that guys do as well. You females should know if a guy's using you or not, because he's going to only need you and use you whenever he needs something from you. If he needs a drive, he might only speak to you when he needs like a drive somewhere or something like this. Or he might need to borrow money. He might hit you up to borrow money. He's obviously using you. I don't know too much on red flags with guys. Like, it's pretty basic. These are things that I've seen before from guys that they do when they're using girls. I've never used a girl before. I never had to use a girl before. I never would use a girl. I'm not going to hurt people to get a short benefit out of it. It's ridiculous. Who needs to do this? Somebody that's awfully low in their life has to do something like this. You should know, like, you girls shouldn't want to go after these guys, like, and save these guys. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't want, and that's something with females too. A lot of girls, not all, but a lot of girls want to go after these toxic guys and change them. And vice versa. There's a lot of guys that want to go after these toxic females as well and change them. There's a lot of good looking girls that are like this. There's a lot of good looking dudes that are like this. And some females feel the need to go after these guys, try to change them and all this bullshit. You end up getting hurt. These guys that go after the pretty females that might be low-key down and out in life and just inside they're hurt, and they're going to end up hurting you. This is what happens. You can't mess with guys like that. You need to have a real man that's on his shit. You need a real man that's got his own everything. His own job, his own income, his own business, any of these things, and like his own spot, his own whip, things like this. Like, you can't mess with a dude that has nothing, because he's going to take whatever you got and he's going to use you. That's what they do. So, just watch out for this bullshit. Other red flags with guys. Guys that disrespect you is obviously a red flag. No guy that really likes a girl is disrespecting her in any way, shape, or form. If a guy really likes a girl, he puts her number one. He doesn't talk to one other girl like that. And he respects her. He wants to be there for her. He is motivated by her. He does better because of her. That's what a real guy will do. And you should just be able to tell if a guy thinks the world of you or not, because it's not even hard to tell if a girl thinks the world of you or not either. Like, it's pretty easy. And watch out for the guys that throw insults your way, because that's another red flag. Even if he's jokingly throwing insults your way, bringing you down in a disguising type of way, that's a massive red flag. You don't want to deal with guys like that. And look at a guy's past history. Like, ask guys that you're talking to, ask them about their history, and they might not even be truthful about it. So you just never know with that. But I didn't do too great on the red flags with guys, because I'm not an expert on that. Like I said, I did not swing that way. I didn't have any experience with it. I just noticed some things, and I've seen a couple things with this, so I had to end the video right here. But I do have, that's why some of you girls think like I'm so biased and I talk about females so much. Like, you girls have to understand that I am a guy and I've had my experiences with these girls. I don't have experiences with guys like that. That's why it's like that. And you girls have to understand that I'm not talking about you girls that want to give me backlash on the things I have to say about this stuff. I'm not talking about you girls. You should know that by now. You know what I mean? So, I'm going to cut this video short. I'll be back right around the corner with another video. I'm out.